How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Jose, aka TheNYCGeek, aka TNG, aka your Elden Lord. Both in Pentos and in Westeros, still your Elden Lord, aka the guy who has just got finished watching House of the Dragon, episode 7, titled Driftmark. I actually had to watch it twice because holy shit, there's a lot of stuff that happens. Like this, it's titled Driftmark, and that is where this entire episode takes place. But like I just said, so much happened. There's so much intrigue. This is another episode where it just goes to show you don't need an attempt at shitty action like Rings of Power to try to bring up the stakes. That show doesn't have any idea what that notion is, bringing up the stakes. It can't even comprehend it. No, House of the Dragon is able to bring up the tension with just dialogue, with subtlety, the glances and the gestures that characters make towards each other, especially in just the first few minutes, is as hostile as them bearing steel on each other. And that is what I love about these intrigue heavy episodes like this one. Now, I have written notes. We're going to go through it scene by scene here, like we've been doing, like I just did with the Rings of Power episode. I want to go not scene by scene. Like I'm not going to sit down, but I'm going to just go over it. So this will have some spoilers if you haven't had a chance. If you can't tell by the big fucking smile on my face, dude, I am just digging this show. I cannot rave enough about how much I'm enjoying the show. So we're going to start off. It starts off over here. Let me just bring it up. Okay. So they're starting the episode with everybody gathered at the Driftmark. They're there for the funeral of Laena Velaryon, which you can see. It's a cool ass casket. They're going to like throw her into the sea. And if you remember last episode, she passed away due to complications from childbirth. So everyone's here. Everyone's here. The king, like the king, like the queen, the hand, Otto's somewhere here. There's Corlys. But just everybody is here. Even Daemon, obviously, because it's his wife. But Otto Hightower, they show him with the badge. He's back as the hand of the king. And this right here, all these people, this is a powder keg ready to explode. And remember when I tell you that it's a powder keg ready to explode, because holy crap. And even on this somber event, like the politics of the realms would not be set aside. You got like there's a eulogy so right here, the eulogy, the uncle, I don't remember his name. I know Corlys's brother. The uncle is giving a speech, and he's talking about how like he's just taking a dig at Rhaenyra. Even in the funeral, he's right here. Ours runs true. He talks about. I wrote it down. He talks about like he looks dead at her, right? He looks dead at her, and he tells her salt courses through Valyrian blood. And he goes, ours runs thick, ours runs true, and ours must never thin. And it's just it's so openly hostile. Like right here, he's like looking right at her, and she's like, this motherfucker in her head. She's like, this son of a bitch. And even the king's like, oh damn. And it's just so hostile that even like right here, like Daemon starts to chuckle because he's just like, dude, like he's like, are you kidding me with this shit? Like right now, we can't even put it aside for a few minutes right now. And this is just a taste of the hostility that runs thick, even in this funeral, that when family should be coming together to mourn. And after they set like her casket to the sea, they like gather and they get together to, to like eat and drink and share condolences. And it's it's just continued hostility all around. Like Queen Alicent doesn't even try to hide her disdain at Rhaenyra. And there is this cool shot of like how everyone has someone beside them during this, even like the kids, except for her. Like she stands alone. She's all alone. Her husband is lost in grief over his sister's death. Like he's down in the coast. Like he's just not mentally there. He's clearly never had the mental fortitude needed for these kind of tense situations. And it's just such fine storytelling because it's so subtle. This show doesn't it doesn't treat its audience like idiots. Okay. It doesn't treat its characters like idiots. It's such good storytelling to show, not tell. And this one scene, I fast forwarded this one scene, it really stuck me. Like it really struck me because Corlys, this is his grandson. This is Luke, Rhaenyra's second son. I'm calling them their, like, nicknames. It's something like Lucerys, and the older one is like Jacaerys, but it's easier just to call him Jason Luke. So this is Luke, and he's telling him, he's like, dude, you're gonna be the Lord of the Driftmark. He's like, your older brother. So he tells him, it's your birthright, lad. And he tells him, your older brother's going to be the king, but you're going to be the one ruling this house. You're going to get the House Valerian. You're going to be the Lord of the Sea and stuff like that. And the kid is sad. He tells him, I don't want it. He's like, I don't want it. And he's like, it's your birthright. And this kid, and Luke says something that's so jarring and so profound. Like he says right here, he tells him, if I'm the Lord of Driftmark, it means that everyone is dead. And he takes his toy and he's like, give me my damn toy. And you can see Corlys is like, he's like, holy shit. He's stunned. And to me, like, you could take this in a few ways, right? I think that to me, Corlys is shocked that this boy doesn't care about titles or power or houses or any of that. He's just sad at the fact that the realization that if there ever comes a time when he is the Lord of Driftmark, that means that everyone he's loved is dead and gone. And I think it's jarring for an adult like Corlys, who has been so mired in politics for so many years, he almost forgets the simpler, more human picture of just actual grief and loss. That's the way I view it. That's the way I'm viewing it. It's like that saying that sometimes the young and innocent are often unexpectedly wise. And I think that's what Corlys is seeing here, that or perhaps not like fully wise, but almost like humane. Like, it's almost like, dude, this is your daughter's funeral. And you shouldn't be worrying about politicking or any of that stuff. Like, dude, she's gone. And this kid is like, I don't want to lose anymore. Like, he just give me my damn toy. That's, he's bummed out. And the funeral is full of these little battles, these little battles that I say that they're being like waged with words, right? Like King Viserys is trying to mend bridges with his brother, and Daemon and Otto immediately resume their rivalry. Rhaenyra is standing alone. Alicent is right, next to Sir Criston Cole, and Lord Larys, the one who, fucking killed his father and his brother earlier, last episode, to become the Lord of Harrenhal. Like, he's like looking at her like, yo, I'm ready to go. Let's go. That dude is like Grima Wormtongue and Littlefinger molded into one, and highly efficient, and even Corlys and Rhaenyra in this scene, they're having their own disagreement because she's tired of him focusing on her would-be crown, the fact that she's been passed over, and she openly declares that she wants Rhaenyra's children. She doesn't want them. Like, she openly declares that Rhaenyra's children are not their grandchildren by blood. She goes, no one's here. It is obvious. We can speak clearly. Rhaenyra's grandchildren are not ours. She goes, but Daemon's and Laena's kids clearly are. And she wants the Driftmark to go to them. She wants House Valerian to pass through Laena's line and not Rhaenyra's. And he's like, no. He pulls it, like, he's like, no, I get the fuck out of here. No, because he's too entrenched in the idea of them, of, like I said, the politics. Like, it's so jarring for him, That's why, like, when he was like, it's your birthright, the kid's like, dude, I don't give a shit. And he's like, what do you mean you don't give a shit? And then we get this So I'm sorry, and I'm like skipping through because obviously I can't show the whole episode. But we get that, and then we move to Rhaenyra and Daemon catching up after all these years, and Rhaenyra is blame. I'm sorry, it's dark too because they so like there were some scenes that were shot a little in the dark, but it's okay. I can still clearly. It's not combat, you know. It's not battle. Like I don't need to really be able to see super clearly, and it's okay because a lot of this is happening in the span of a day and night, and so Rhaenyra is blaming Daemon for running away. There is a very real part of her that feels like if Daemon had stayed and fought for her hand instead of fleeing to Pentos, like things would have been infinitely better for her. And let me state, Rhaenyra is not exempt from blame. Okay, she has still lived her life very petulantly like a child. Okay, like come on, Rhaenyra, you should have sired your children more carefully. Pick someone from the Driftmark to have a child or two with that at least resembles Laenor before you start having bastards, you know, but at the same time, or at least bastards that don't look like the king, the king consort. But at the same time, I also get why she is mad, because if Daemon had stayed, if they had been married, then Alicent would have no chance at disputing Rhaenyra's claims at the thrones. And also because there's always been this tension between her and her uncle, you know, and look, they have been teasing these two since episode 1, and I'm not going to show you any scenes of that. I'm not going to show you any scenes, but all I'm going to say is that you could play a little Marvin Gaye here. You could play a little Marvin Gaye. You could play a little Let's Get It On. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And then now I moved it forward and we get to the powder keg. Remember how I told you the powder keg, right? That this whole funeral is a powder keg. We're getting to the scene that lights the fuse. This is the scene that lights the fuse. And fuck, my God. So Alicent's second son, Aemon, we saw last episode, he doesn't have a dragon. And his cousins, or I guess not cousins, his nephews, because hold on, like you got to draw a freaking family tree for this. Like Alicent, yeah, because they are stepbrothers to Rhaenyra, because so they're stepbrothers to Rhaenyra. So technically they are Rhaenyra's kids' uncles. Okay, so even his nephews, his older brother Aegon and his nephews, they torment them, like they bully him about it all the time. And he has grown obsessed with wanting a dragon, and holy shit, does he claim one, okay? Because he finds Vhagar, not just any dragon. Remember, this was Laena's former dragon, but the biggest motherfucker around, and he claims it. And I guess that he like imprints upon it now that Laena is dead, because he starts like talking to it and trying to calm it, because he wants to ride it. He tries to climb on it, and the dragon's like, dude, get the fuck off me, bro. And he's just like, he doesn't like get scared. He stands firm and he starts like shouting it to it in Valyrian, and the dragon like allows him to get on top. And this scene here is so fucking epic, man. Like I want to put for a few seconds, like that footstep right there. Oh my God, like that shot right there. When this dragon begins to rise, this is something out of Monster Hunter. No. It feels like back in World of Warcraft, during the cinematic for Cataclysm, there's a scene, there's a cinematic, and they show this dragon in the lore. It's Deathwing, and Deathwing is being like repaired, right? Because he's being mended, and they're putting armor on him, and he breaks free. And when he breaks free, he like ruptures the very earth. He ruptures Azeroth, and there's like tidal waves and earthquakes. And it feels like this, like you're watching this massive dragon rise up, and its steps are shaking like the very earth. You know, the cracking of its wings are like thunder. And this is awesome. Okay, this is awesome, but it leads to some super drama. I told you all this was this is the powder keg. This was the the fuse that lights it up, and it leads to, because the kid, he like flies, so he ends up flying on Vagar, and basically with him doing that, he's established like his dominance over the dragon. He's claimed it. It's his. It's bonded to him now. And when he gets back, Lena's children, like Bela, I think Bela is the name of the oldest daughter. She's furious. She's like, that you stole that, and he's right. And she's right. She's like, you stole it from me. That was supposed to be mine. And he tells her, well, you should have claimed it before I did. You should have claimed it. And they fight him, they confront him, and these kids just break out into a brawl. Like he pushes one of the girls, and the other one punches him, and he punches her back right in the face. And then he hits the boys with a rock, and then they jump him like it's some backstreet fight. But this is where you start to see the combat training, the difference between the combat training, because he is tough enough to like fight them. Like he's able to bat them all off because he's been actually trained by Sir Kristen Cole. And that's something that last episode, Sir Strong was like, dude, you're not training the Crown Princess's kids at all, but you're training the Queen's kids. So he's ready to fucking fight them. And here is where he calls them. You see that? He calls them Lord Strong. He calls them, he accuses them of being bastards. And he's fucking them up. And then this scene happens, and I will leave this scene. One of the kids throws some sand in his eyes, and then boom, cuts his fucking eye with a dagger. Dude, this scene of the five kids fighting with each other is more epic than the entire battle of the Southlands in Rings of Power. Like, I was like, oh shit. Like, that was more epic. And it was fucking five kids fighting each other. And that's how sad the Rings of Power is. So as you can imagine, that has major consequences. Like, they start having this fight with they start having this battle, not this fight. They go over here. Let me bring up the scene because I was trying to. Okay, so then we have all the adults just laying it out. The adults, Alicent is obviously furious that her son has been maimed. Rhaenyra and there's like King Viserys is trying to play peace. He's trying to play peacemaker, but you can't, dude. You gotta. The problem with him is that he keeps straddling the fence. He doesn't want to tilt the scales too far on any side. And unfortunately, this is why this is all just blown up in this manner. So he's trying to find out what the hell happened, like what was responsible, what occurred. And he starts getting more of the story. And Alicent's trying to play the whole part that, they maimed your son. They maimed one of your children, King Viserys. But Rhaenyra accuses Aemond of high treason because she tells him he dared to question the legitimacy of my son's birth. What? And Viserys is like, what? Like, what? And that's full treason. This is what Viserys was trying to tell Alicent before, like, drop this fucking shit, dude, because what you're trying to say will not only unravel the realm and the peace of the realm, but it's high treason to accuse the Crown Princess of something. It doesn't matter how fucking plainly obvious it is, even though, again, she's a fool for doing that. But, it's high drama on the high seas, and King Viserys is tired. He's like Vin Diesel, okay? He's like, this has to end now because we're family. But Alicent does not want to let it go. Like, she doesn't want to let it go, and she is pissed about this. And he even confronts like Aegon, because Aemond says, I heard it from Aegon, because his father tells him, who told you this? And Aegon's like, it's so, look at them. He's like, look at them. It's so obvious. It's so clear. And he's like, this is it. Let it be over. Let it be done. He doesn't even want to look her in the eye. Like, I love Viserys, but he's just so this is unfortunately where what Damon said about him is true. That he's just he's too weak. He's trying to please everybody. And Allison is losing her mind. Like, she's like, dude, this ain't done. Like, this is not done. I want an eye for an eye. She goes, I want one of her son's eyes. And everyone's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? And this part cracks me up because she even tries to command. She even tries to command, like the king says it's over.
Anyone.
Right? She tries to command the Sir Kristen to get her the eye, to go over there and get her that eyeball. I didn't have it time stamped exactly, but he's like, she goes, you're sworn to me. And he's like, dude, yeah, like as your protector, not like I'm not gonna go fucking disobey the king and go fucking attack the crown princess. Like, even he knows, like, you're overstepping your bounds, like you're going too far, like drop it. And she is not, she is pissed. She is like, I want this kid's eye. And it goes to the point where she actually draws a dagger on. This is that scene that we saw on the trailer. She is so lost. She's overstepped her bounds in such insane magnitudes, not just disobeying the king and openly disobeying him and the fact that he's not saying anything, but trying to order the king's guard to do it. And then on top of that, she draws the king's dagger on Rhaenyra. And this just highlights what Damon was talking about, Viserys. Like, you got to control your court, man. And you know, like I told you earlier that they were drawing daggers with their words, but now she openly draws one. And it's just so fucking good, guys. I'm loving this show so much. And and there's a scene here, like, so she ends up slashing Rhaenyra. She ends up cutting her, and she cuts Rhaenyra right here. And everyone's kind of like it's just like even Allison kind of loses her she calms down, but the lines are drawn right here. This is such a great little bit of storytelling right here, because Aemon goes up to his mother and he tells her, Mom, don't mourn me. It's okay. Like, yeah, I lost an eye. It was a fair exchange. I got a fucking dragon. I didn't get just a dragon. I got the dragon. And this is like right here. Look at this scene right here where the lines are drawn. Like, so Kristen picks up the dagger, and she's like, her son now has a very powerful tool at his disposal. And she has Sir Kristen Cole, but then on the opposite side, you know, Rhaenyra has her sons. She has Corlys still in her corner. She has Daemon now on her side. And it's fuck, like, it's good storytelling. It's good showing. You're showing the fucking lines without having to tell me, like, oh, this person sided with this one, this person sided with that one. And it's just so fucking good. And just when you, and let me tell you, just when you think, holy shit, so much happening in this episode. No, there's still so much more. They don't spin the wheels here. It's going, baby. You better keep up. It's going. And because now Rhaenyra, after this, clearly Allison is no longer, like, she's overtly made herself an enemy to Rhaenyra. So, and now that the legitimacy of her children, like, that accusation was whispers before, now it was lobbed openly. Rhaenyra knows that she is in a tight spot. And Sir Laenor, this whole time, Sir Laenor, I don't know where the fuck this guy was. He was jerking off. I don't know what he was doing, but he wasn't there. And she's like, dude, like, yeah, man, a lot of shit happened last night. And he understands that he hasn't been a good husband. Like I said, you know, Rhaenyra's not, her hands aren't clean, but he understands that he's fucked up a lot. And they both know this, and he wants to be a husband for her now, but it's too late. Because, like I said, Allison has overtly made herself an enemy to Rhaenyra. And this is now Rhaenyra Rhaenyra needs to strengthen her claim. She needs to strengthen her claim. She can't just like let it be that she has bastard children now that it's going to be openly discussed now. It's not just whispers. It's going to be openly discussed. So the episode ends with this scheme to dispose of Laenor, and Rhaenyra and Daemon get married. Fuck, dude. Fuck. Like, this is so well done. And it's revealed like it looks like it's like it's a pretty good scheme, and I don't want to I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but it's a scheme that happens to dispose of Laenor. And I mean, yes, this is all spoilers, so I mean it's all spoilers, but it's cleverly done so that you think like, oh shit, they killed this fucking guy to do it. But it's whatever. You'll see. I'm telling you, watch this episode, guys. Watch this whole fucking series, because this series is just, it's such a look. Is it the greatest television show of all time? No, that's Better Call Saul. But there's such fine storytelling being told here, and there's so much tension, and that's what I keep saying, that this show has tension even when there's no fucking fighting, like no actual fighting. Yeah, like the kids slashed them, but like not 5 kids fighting, but like there's no battle, there's no action, but you're still like, oh shit, like what's gonna fucking happen? They're not gonna take this laying down. There's no way that person can now make this move. Like these little chess pieces that are being moved around. This to me is where Game of Thrones excels, and House of the Dragons is putting on a clinic. They are showing firsthand how you can move a plot, how you can have interesting characters, how you can have all these high stakes, and you don't need to rely on really bad action sets like Rings of Power just did in episode 6, because we can never forgive the pyroclastic flow. We can't forgive that show, but let alone that last few minutes of it, rather. But I'm telling you, I just keep digging this. This was episode 7. We still have episode 8, episode 9, episode 10 of this season, and then we have 2 more seasons to look forward to. I think that they are going to add in more. They're gonna have to add in a little bit more to pad that out, because they've gone through a lot really quick in the first season. But I can tell you again, I don't want to ever just say that there's 100% chance that they won't fuck it up. I won't say that. But right now, if there's something that I can give the benefit of the doubt to, it's this show. It's been stellar so far. And also, what I've been loving is I'm not getting any of that. Like I know that the actress and the director say these stupid things. I said, yeah, those are silly things to say out there. I don't really care, as long as the product is not being influenced. You could think of whatever the fuck you want. As long as my product that I'm watching is not being influenced, I'm digging it. And that is going really well. Even the casting for Valerian, where a lot of people were like, well, he doesn't look like that. It's kind of worked out in the favor of the show for him to be cast in that manner. So as long as the stuff that's out there doesn't influence the product, and so far for me, I have not gotten any woke ideology or anything shoved, the identity politics shoved down our throats. Not at all. I think it's been stellar. And if anything, it's showing Rhaenyra and Alicent as the kind of like, who's the villain, who's the good guy kind of thing. It's showing that women can be fucking mean or bad people too. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, they're not just showing the men being the bad guys or being incompetent. No, everybody's a jerk. Everybody's a jerk. And that's how it should be. Should be everybody equally a jerk. So anyway, I've been digging it. I hope you guys have been watching it. Again, I know this is late that I'm going to put it out, but I had to rewatch this episode, and then I was like jotting down, because I jotted down a few notes, and I had to put like the timestamp. So I know it's a little late. So I hope you guys are able to enjoy this video. This has been the NYC Geek. If you enjoyed this content, please, please, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 1,200 subscribers. That's amazing. We're well on our way to 2,000. Thank you, everybody, for making that possible. There's a little gnat that's flying around here. Ooh, this shit's driving me crazy. But please, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please consider hitting it right now. Also, while you're at it, please consider hitting that like, that share button, hit the freaking bell so you can know when a video goes live. Leave a comment down below. I love to engage and chat with every single one of you. I do my absolute best to respond to every single comment. Our Rings of Power video, we've got like 200 something comments, and you can go through that Rings of Power video and you'll see I try to respond to everybody. I do my absolute best. And if you haven't already, please make sure to follow me over on twitch.tv/TheNYCGeek, where I do stream regularly on Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That schedule is probably going to be changing after I come back next week from TwitchCon, so I'll update it here as well. And follow me as well on that filthy cesspool that is Twitter. It's filthy. It's filthy. Remember always, I said it before, I try to always say it, your time is precious. Thank you for sharing it with me, truly. That is why I try to go back and respond to every single comment, because you guys have the time to leave me a comment, then I want to make sure to have the time to respond back and engage with all of you. I love it. And thank you for sharing it with me. Please, please, please stay safe, take care of each other, and I'll see you guys next time.